Alright there guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I've got a juicy one for you. I wasn't actually going to upload a video today, and that's because I didn't actually have anything to do. I couldn't think of any video to make today. But yesterday my Hatsune Miku crying speech reaction video reached 1,000 views. It becomes my first ever video on my channel to reach the 1,000 views mark. It'll probably be the only one that ever does that. With my next highest video in terms of views being my MCM Manchester Comic Con vlog from 2019, which has over 280 views, but that's the second highest. It's still over 700 below. But what I want to, to mark the occasion, I wanted to go even more into detail than I did in February of 2019 when I did the 1 year anniversary video, which also got over 100 views in and amongst itself. So for some reason, anytime I talk about Miku, my views do well, despite I really don't like her. I talked about how that video came, how the story came to be, but I want to go more in depth with it today. So let us go back to February 17th, 2018. Me and David are in our first year at college, and it's the Friday before the 1 week holidays that we have in February. And he said to me that there was a video he wanted me to react to on my channel. And I said, okay, what's it called? And he said, Hatsune Miku crying speech. And I was like, okay. And then he actually sent me on Messenger the link to the video to make sure I got the right one. Then I made my reaction video, and the gist of it is I said Miku is a hologram. It's not actually that emotional whatsoever because it's all pre-programmed, meaning there's no real emotion that's put into it, which I still think is a fair point because Miku's concerts are pre-programmed, meaning if she cries at the end, that was always going to happen, even if not a single person celebrated or cheered for her when she finished. So I kind of have got you on that one. And David did not like what I had to say about the video. So what did he do? He basically got my video, shared it into a Miku group on Facebook, and actively told everyone on there to go to my video and leave hate on it. Which is exactly what some people did. If you're getting deja vu from what I'm saying, then you probably read my thread long of tweets that I posted yesterday regarding my Miku video hitting 1,000 views. And I got quite a few hate comments on it, and there was the occasional one that disagreed with me but was respectful, but the majority of the comments on that video are disrespectful and just hateful. But the thing is, for the very first week, I think, for the very first week of that video being uploaded, every single hateful and negative comment I received was David actually went into the replies of all those comments and just completely agreed with everybody that was disagreeing with what I was saying in a hateful way. Now, the hate comments themselves didn't bother me. That's not the issue. Part of the issue is David is encouraging this. David was encouraging this because I saw it all. Any of the comments, because think about it. David was the one that shared the video in the group to begin with. He was the one that shared it. So he was the one that was encouraging all the hate to begin with. And that was made even more apparent when he agreed with every single hate comment within the first week of the video being uploaded. Always just completely agreeing with anything anyone said, as long as it was negative about me. Bearing in mind, me and David were still friends at this point. It wasn't until another 4 months later until we actually fell out. But it does seem a bit snaky, doesn't it? It does feel like he has snaked me a bit, encouraging people to send hate to one of your friends' channels, and then not only encouraging it, but then agreeing with it in the comment, replying to all these hateful comments, agreeing with these people. He'd rather agree with people that he's never met just because they have the same beliefs about Miku that he does, over a friend that he's known for multiple years. It does seem a bit snaky, and in my 2019 1-year anniversary video I made, I did mention how this might have been the very, very first time that David's behaviour and the way he treated people was changing, and changing who he was as a person into what he has become now. But the reason I wanted to bring up him replying in the comments specifically and agreeing with all the hate that he encouraged is because in the video I made on him last month, right, the Truth About Retro Apocalypse video that I made, he actually commented on it himself. Now, I've been thinking for over nearly 2 months now whether to make a response video to the comments that he put, because I could explain some more points that would shut down his arguments, but I'm not entirely sure if I should or not, so I've decided not to for now. Maybe I will visit it at some point, but I don't know. I'm not sure that right now it's even a good idea, so I'm leaving it. But in one of those comments, I will point out that in one of those comments David said I was harassing him for views. Okay? I'm harassing him for views because I've made multiple videos on him in the past, exposing him for things. Well, I'm not quite sure, David, if you can call it harassment when, if we look at the date I uploaded my 4 videos that I've made specifically on you, this is not counting the parody videos I've made on him. This is counting the serious videos I made on him, because the 3 parody videos were all jokes and meant for entertainment purposes. I'm referring to all the serious videos I've made on him. So we had the first video I made on you, which is called Why Me and Retro Apocalypse Are No Longer Friends, which was released on either June 27th or June 28th, 2018. I can't remember which one exactly, I just remember it's one of those 2 dates. Then, my second video I made on you, clearing up everything about Retro Apocalypse, which was a video where I talked about how David made false claims about me, saying I was the one that broke him and Luke up, and I explained how that was completely untrue and David was lying to make me look bad. That was uploaded on July 30th, 2018. So those 2 videos were roughly a month apart. So I'm not sure how that's harassment. Then the next video I made on David wasn't until October 26th, 2019. And that video title was Retro Apocalypse is not transgender. And I still stand by everything I've said in that video about David never experiencing gender dysphoria and only using the label of transgender for attention and nothing else. And that was, as I said, October 26th, 2019. That is, no, well, 12 months later would have been July 2019, so that's 12. August, that's 13. September, that's 14. October, that's 15. Roughly 15 months between my second and third videos on David. Don't understand how that's harassment. And the final video I made on him, which was the video I made last month, the Truth About Retro Apocalypse video I made, that was released on March 4th, 2020. So, November, December, January, February, March. That's at least another 5 months apart. So, videos 1 and 2, 1 month apart. Videos 2 and 3, 15 months apart. Videos 3 and 4, 5 months apart. That is not harassment, David. You clearly don't understand what harassment is. Harassment would be if I was harassing you, I would be making videos on you either every week or at the very, very least, every single month. I'd be making at least one video on you. But there I've just explained how my videos are actually widely spread out, and they actually very widely spread out, and how the shortest time between two videos I made specifically about you were 1 month apart. Everything else was 5 months or longer. 5 months between 3 and 4, and 15 between 2 and 3. So that instantly shuts down his claim of harassment. But the reason I wanted to bring that up is because David, in sharing my video in that Miku Facebook group, and then encouraging everyone on there to send hate to my channel, seeing that people actually doing it, and then supporting the fact that they're doing it, I'm pretty sure that is more basis on harassment than anything I've ever said about you, David. Encouraging people to hate on me, and then when they do, replying to them and agreeing with them. Instantly 100% agreeing with them, leaving hate on my channel after you were the one that encouraged it in the first place. I think that went on for a full week. So, I think you can never call me out again or try and expose me for harassing you for views when you harassed me simply because you disagreed with what I said about Miku. So you had malicious intent to encourage hate on my channel and then agreed with it once you'd encouraged it. And that's kind of the first step into what David has become now. But yeah, that instantly shuts down David's claims that I'm harassing him when my videos on him have been widely spread apart. And if anyone's done any harassing between the two of us, it was him to me, not me to him. But there was a second thing I wanted to talk about. A second thing he said in these string of comments. He also said that he is disgusted that I found out so much about his private life. I mean, the word disgusted is actually super ironic with him saying that, when if he actually understood how badly he treats people, he would be disgusted with himself from his own actions, and the people that have had to have unfortunate experiences with him are completely disgusted with his actions, especially me, and I'm not even the one. He's had these experiences with him in the past year or so. But what the people who have unfortunately had experiences with him, what they've told me, whether it was Ash or Kate, what they've told me, I am genuinely disgusted at. With what they've told me he did to them. But here's the thing. He said he's disgusted with how I know so much about his private life and talking about it publicly on the internet. You see, let me just shut down that claim as well. You see, David, you actually can't use that as an argument against me either, because back in July of 2018, around when you were making that false claim about me, where you made a public post on Facebook saying I purposely persuaded Luke to break up with you. You didn't care that you were publicly making up a complete and blatant lie about someone, and as I just said, not only making a complete and utter lie about someone, a false accusation that you have no proof on, but then publicly posting it, thinking the person it's about won't see it, which was me. But no, I did see it, which is why I made the video back in July of 2018. It was also a few days before MCM Manchester 2018, so maybe David was also trying to ruin my mood for my convention experience. It didn't work, of course, and the reason I'm able to shut down his claim of being disgusted at how I know so much about his private life and saying it publicly, well, from July 27, 2018 to August 2018, David and Luke stayed together for one more month. In that month that they stayed together, David, did some emotional blackmail on Luke, because he knew Luke would give into it straight away, so David could be manipulative and emotionally blackmail Luke into staying with him, which is what he did. And not only did he emotionally blackmail, but made false threats to Luke. You see, these threats, the threats David was making were not real. He was never going to do any of the things he said he was with these threats. But Luke was going to have... Luke would be worried that David would do something horrible to himself, and but make Luke feel bad, as if it was his fault that David did this thing. So Luke basically was being forced to stay with David, being manipulated and blackmailed into staying with David, only for David to, as I said in my video I made on David last month, how he grinded Ash and Kate down till they were at their lowest, and then left. He actually did that to Luke first. Before he'd even met Ash or Kate, he was already doing it back in 2018. So never mind 2019. He was doing it back in 2018. He said horrible things about Luke to his friends. I know this because Luke at the time told me himself about this. Luke told me that David was saying horrible things about him behind his back to his friends, and also saying horrible stuff about him publicly Not only was he saying horrible stuff about him publicly, but Luke even said in the comments, or even replied to David in some comments on Facebook about the public things, about the horrible things David was saying about Luke. These were things Luke actually wanted to stay private. Luke wanted these things that David was saying about him to stay private, but did David care how that private information going public would affect Luke? Did David have any care for how it would make Luke feel? Of course he didn't. Just like with Ash and Kate, did he care? How I said he didn't care about how he was treating them, and then once they were at their worst, he jumped ship and left. He did the very same thing to Luke back in August of 2018. 1 month after he made an entire public post about me making up lies, 1 month later, the person he was so desperate to stay with, that he would go out of his way to make others look bad, so Luke would stay with David, only to then make Luke feel worthless, emotionally blackmail him, make false threats, and then dump him 1 month after he almost got dumped. Just to make himself feel better, and made Luke feel at very, very low. So David, you cannot say, you are not allowed to be disgusted with anybody talking about saying things about you, publicly saying things about you that you want to stay hidden because of the way you treat people. You don't want people knowing what you're really like, as I've said tons of times before. You do not want people knowing who you really are. You want people to see you as this fake nice guy act that you put on so much to get people to like you, but then once you show them your true colours, they don't want to be with you. They straight away do not want to be with you anymore. So David cannot call me out or try and expose me for harassing him without without being a hypocrite, since he has harassed me first. He did it over 2 years before, and he did it with malicious intent, also blocking me on Messenger for that whole week, so I couldn't contact him in any way. To say, like, why are you making these false? Why did you share that in the Miku group, asking people to send hate on it, and then completely agreeing with anyone who did leave hate on it for the first week? He didn't want me contacting him about it because he wanted that video to get a load of hate, and it did, as it sits on 7 likes and 51 dislikes. The most interaction with any video I've ever made, and most of it is negative, in the comments and with the dislikes. But yeah, I wanted to bring up things that happened in 2018 because some of it does actually relate to this video. So yeah, David was grinding people down, publicly posting things they specifically said they want to keep private, having no care for what anyone says, always just thinking about himself. But then he says it's not okay for others to publicly expose his true nature. But then when he wants to make up lies and say horrible things about others that that person has specifically said they want to keep private, and David just completely disregards it and makes it public. So David has shown himself as quite a big hypocrite. So yeah, this Miku video was possibly the beginning of the end of our friendship. Even if we did stay friends for another 3.5 months or so after that video was uploaded, that seems to be the real beginning of the end. So yeah, I've at least addressed two points David made in the comments of my last video on him, and shown how he's a massive hypocrite when it comes to saying stuff as in I'm harassing him for views. Oh yeah, David, it's okay when you harass other people though, isn't it? When you encourage hate towards others and then reply to those people, agreeing with them on the hate that they're giving, that's completely okay if you're the one encouraging the hate and harassment. But if somebody says something publicly about you that you want to keep hidden so people don't find out the truth, that's suddenly not okay, and you try to silence those people. Well, trying to silence me shows you're guilty. And then saying you're disgusted in how I know so much about your private life despite I never speak to you anymore, even though this is just things people have told me after their experiences with you, and how horrible those experiences were, and how they wish those experiences never happened in the first place, because they were potentially life ruining. They were that bad. And then after that, not only that, but then saying you're disgusted at that. So it's okay when you say things that were supposed to be private about other people and just post them publicly and wanting everyone to see them, not having any care or regard for that person's privacy, just wanting to make that, forget about the privacy and just shoot it up to be public. But when people publicly talk about you and what you're like, saying private things about you that should be made public because people deserve to know the truth about you, which you of course don't want anyone knowing, that's suddenly not okay. Anyway, that is going to be the end of this video. I guess thank you for helping the Hatsune Miku Crying Speech reaction video hit 1,000 views, even though I'm not actually pleased that it did, because it's the most viewed video on my channel. People are going to see all the hate I got. Haters don't get to me. Regular haters don't get to me. It's just like the bitter haters are the ones who are annoying. But on YouTube, I've never experienced having bitter haters. And what I mean by bitter haters are haters that literally comment something snide or mean on every single individual video you upload, just because they're sad, bitter twats. But yeah, clearing two more things up about David, on how he's a massive hypocrite when it comes to saying other people like me are harassing him, when he actually encouraged hate harassment on me and then agreed with everyone who did it. And that's when we were still friends. That really makes it even worse. And then the fact that he said, I don't want because I'm a human being, I don't want people spreading my private information publicly, even though back in 2018, he did exactly that, spreading private information about Luke and made it public for people to see. A lot of it has been deleted since then, of course. It wasn't up there for too long. It got deleted in 2018, but I still wanted to bring it up because David has a habit of deleting things that can be used against him, because he doesn't want anyone to be able to have good arguments against him. He needs to try and silence everyone. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, follow me on all my social medias, and I will see you guys again tomorrow for some more FIFA 18 Newcastle Career Mode, with another 5 episodes coming up this week. Until then, catch you later.